Hello again, welcome back to the Syrup Review. I'm Karen and today I'm going to be doing my February TBR. These are in no particular order, it's just all of the books I would like to get to in February. And the first one up was actually on my January TBR already, that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I, for some reason, didn't get to this in January. I got stuck on a Game of Thrones a little bit, so I didn't get through with this one, but I really want to read this month, especially because I haven't read all that much YA lately, and I really want to get back into YA now. And this one, like Rainbow Rowell, is somewhat of a queen of YA, and I haven't ever read any of her books, so I think now is the time to do that. I don't know much about this. It's about a girl who writes fan fiction, I believe, and that's literally all I know. I'm just very excited to read this because I've heard so many positive things but also some negative things, and I'm just looking forward to seeing whether Rainbow Rowell's writing works for me or not. The next book I would like to read in February is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, which everyone and their mom has already read, except for me. Like, Becky Albertalli, I believe, is publishing a book this year with Adam Silvera, and so this one is going to be like old pretty soon, and I've got to read it before that new book comes out. And quite notably, there's also a movie coming out, and I don't like watching movies before having read the book, which is why I really need to read this right now. As is the case for Fangirl, I don't know all that much about it. It's something about a boy who is named Simon, I assume, and gay. And I'm expecting it to be some kind of a coming-of-age story of a gay teen, which is exactly what I like, so I don't really need to know much more. And I can't wait to dive in and see if I'm right with my assumption. Next up on my February TBR is Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley-Doyle. Once again, I have to say, I don't know much about this book. In fact, about this one, I know seriously close to zero. I have heard it talked about all over BookTube, and it was a little bit of a cover buy. Like, I heard many good things and I loved the cover, so there was really no reason for me not to order this and read it. Anyway, in the meanwhile, I have found out that it's set in a small Irish town, and as a huge Ireland fan, that's just exactly what I need. And it's something like, I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhat mystical. It's about, as I said, this little town where suddenly stuff, and I think also people, start going missing. And then there's a couple of teenagers, I believe, who set out to find out where all of the stuff that has been disappearing has gone, and are trying to solve the mystery of these disappearances. That's really all I know, and I don't think I want to know much more because that sounds just fine with me, and I'm very excited to read this one. The next book I have on my February TBR I don't own yet because it's only just been published, I think, and that is Schildkrötensoldat by Melinda Nace Abunche. Don't quote me on the name, I'm not sure how to say it, even though the author is actually Swiss, and I've already read 2 of her books, I believe, and I loved both of them, so naturally I'm gonna read her new book as well. I haven't heard much about this book yet, probably because it's new, so I again don't really know what it's about. However, the author, I know her to write something I would probably call literary fiction, which I love. And this book is also going to help me towards my goal of reading more German books by Swiss authors. So for me, this book is really a win-win. The books I've read by Melinda Nace Abunche have been, like, her most popular one is Tauben fliegen auf, which is, she tends to write stories about migration, immigration, questions about home, these kinds of things, because she herself has got a migration background. As far as I know, she migrated to Switzerland herself, so she really knows what she's talking about, and she just usually writes very, very good books, and I'm so excited to read a new one. And then finally, although I really don't know if I'm gonna get to it this month, is A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, number 2 in A Song of Ice and Fire, and the sequel to A Game of Thrones, which I finished last month, finally. At first I was planning to read this book in January, but then I kind of got stuck on number 1, so here I am not having read the second one, because just like the first one, it's really big. It's like, I think this one actually has 1,000 pages. Oh well, 900. So it's gonna take me a while to get through this, and that's why, since I didn't read it in January, I kind of postponed it to the beginning of March, because I'm gonna go on holiday for a week. I'll be in Finland in some tiny nice cottage somewhere in the forest where there's not much to do except for reading anyway, and I think that's the perfect opportunity to get to this one. There we go, these were all the books I'd like to read in February. I'll be uploading my January wrap-up soon, so stay tuned for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!